If you go to the second page of tab 11, it starts at the top, Virginia Code 55. So the policy that we passed last year at some time, I guess I don't know when, but it was in 2007, which essentially took a position on what we do with serious compliance violators when they don't fix the compliance, when they don't become compliant. So, for example, if somebody builds a chicken coop in the backyard and starts housing chickens, and we don't like it, what do we do about it besides charging them some money? Whether they pay the money or not, what can we do to return our community to the way the community was planned to be? On the third page, we have a table of various kinds of compliance violations and which ones we consider very, very serious. Serious enough to do something about. For example, take somebody to court and sue them. And those that we consider, well, that doesn't really change the nature of the community very much, so we're going to stop with the assessments. We're going to have the assessments but no further compliance action. I was asked to bring this back in front of the board so the board can consider what we do with some of the more serious compliance violations we have. For example, and to the point of this table, docks that are not in compliance, which is item 2 on the table. And we have 6 of those, Ray, 6 or 7, that where the dock, no, probably 6 because one's been fixed, where the dock has not been brought into compliance. Regardless of whether we have charged the compliance assessments or not, regardless of whether the person has paid the assessments, the dock still is not in compliance and still represents a safety hazard in the community. And the question before the board, does the board wish to take this a step further now or not?
Part of the question is the cost.
Part of the question, of course, is the cost. Taking any legal action is expensive.
And probably $2,500 plus, depending on whether it's contested.
So $2,500 to start, more if it's contested, you're saying. Okay. Pat, do you have anything?
So we know for a fact at this point that we're certainly on a straight line basis, John, exceeding what we had anticipated for legal expenses this year.
Correct.
I think I would recommend that we defer this. We don't say yes and no. We defer this item until we have our first quarter's budget review. Financial task force has done their work and come back with recommendations of what we do or do not do with our budget. And I think one of the things that they should at least consider in their meeting is just figure out how many we got of these that are serious and take a number of $5,000 and throw that in and say what does it do, and then factor that into what we recommend as far as the budget. Because I don't think we had, the board went through a lot of, if I remember, a lot of deliberation to get to this point, because one of the issues in the past has been we had a compliance committee who did its job well. We went through, we got to the maximums, and then, oh yeah, by the way, the fence is still there, the junk is still there, what next? And from a POA Act, fine-wise, assessment-wise, you're done, you can't do anything. So the only choice is legal. Last year's board decided, okay, let's open that avenue up to us. So I don't think we should ignore that, but on the other hand, I think we've got to consider that just like every other thing we're trying to spend money on this year, that at this point isn't in the budget.
Yeah. Well, the way I read this thing was that any case that would come up on these categories would come to the board on a case-by-case basis, and we can make a decision if we wanted to go after it. So this just sets the overall guidelines. I like it the way it is. I think we ought to continue down this path. Being the board would have to approve a case-by-case basis, I would like to spell out this one thing, the CA, which I assume is common area, and also include common property on that, under the general area down here.
I see it.
I would include common property as well as common area.
Okay.
But that's a small thing. But anyway, I think this is a good thing.
Well, the question before the board is not whether we should modify this or not. The question before the board is should we apply it now in these
But this
These
is only
cases-
for which,
For that one case, for the dock case only?
Well, there's six or,
It's gotta be case by case basis.
I think there's 6 dock cases where it could be applied.
Well, it's gotta be case by case.
Okay?
I mean, that's the way it's worded.
Of course. So, and the question before the board is, does the board wish to apply it at this time to any of the cases?
Well, but we don't have the cases in front of us, as
Yeah, we do.
Dave
They're-
said.
Yeah.
The compliance report and raise,
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
I think Pat's suggestion is the right one. We need to see where we are, at least after the first quarterly review, before we sign up for spending any more money.
I basically agree with everybody.
okay.
and you want to chair it too, right?
No, I agree with Pat, and as far as, when they come before us, I'd like somebody to rank them, maybe a compliance committee, go, well, we feel this one is the most dangerous for the lake dam, this one, you know, and rank them in order of, because resources are limited even after we do the first quarter study. And I'd rather have somebody more acquainted with these docks we're talking about, it can say, we feel this one is the most dangerous, and we feel it, and kind of prioritize them, like we did the guardrails. Someday we will have money, and real estate can't be dead forever.
Okay.
The dock issue, didn't we talk about this before where, don't we have a right, since it's on common area, to fix it and then charge the owner? Would that take it to court?
I would say what, we talked about that.
So for the dock issue, I don't think, I think we could probably take care of things, maybe.
I'm thinking maybe we talked about that, that was this year we talked about that, and that was
Yeah.
after this. We started talking about, hey, we've got the right, because it's not on the property to start.
Right.
But you have to go on their property
Well,
to
I
fix
don't
it.
want to open up that, well, you don't have to, you can come in.
Wait on the
Come in from by sea.
You have to go onto their property tied to something.
That's,
One end of the chain's gotta be tied
That's-
onto their property.
that's, yeah, I think that would be a mistake right now, to open that Pandora's box, I really do.
As do I.
Very well done, Wolf.
Would one of you, I guess 4 of you have talked to this, one of you like to move that we table this until after the Q1 financials are?
I would move that we would defer this to the April board meeting after the financial task force has done its review of the school budget.
I think that's gonna be the May.
Or till such time that the first review is completed. I'm trying
Did
to
you
make
get
it.
that, Ralph?
Sort of.
To propose to table it till after we do the Q1 financial review.
That's what I got. We used different.
Is that a reasonable summary?
Very close.
Any discussion of that motion? All in favor of the motion? That was unanimous. Okay, this will probably come back in May then.